With Fresh Vintage, we're going live. You get to see a little bit of behind the scenes. We're going to put brakes on my Forester here. Not just any brakes, Powerstop brakes.
We got Powerstop brakes. So like you said, we're just gonna do a little behind the scenes and just kind of show you how we make a video. Blah blah blah. So
Meat and potatoes.
the meat and potatoes, yeah. How the sausage gets made, kind of thing. So.
But not as gross.
But not as gross. Yeah, this is way cooler. So, so we're gonna put you in the tripod here. So, if you're watching this video at a later point in time, just know that most of this is gonna be in the tripod, and we'll move the tripod here and there as needed. So, if you're just joining us, we're putting brakes, and they're gone already. Someone was there, and now they're gone. So we'll just do this. And we'll probably knock this over a few times, but it'll be fine. So there we go.
Try to scoot it back.
So it's not in the shot.
Because I'll be stepping on that.
Yeah, I was trying to keep it out of the sun, but we'll just leave it there for a moment. Okay. So we're going to get a nice shot of my legs. There we go. Get this out of the bag. Powerstop brakes. This is a 2016 Forester. And we're not joking when we say we have a set of brakes like this for a very similar Forester, but it's a different engine. These have two different sub-engines. You wouldn't think that'd make a difference, but they very much do. So we have a different set of these on eBay right now.
For cheap.
For cheap, yeah. So if you have a 2016 Forester, send us a message, leave us a comment. We may be able to get you a deal. So.
You know what? Let me get the years. I think it's 2016 to 18.
2016, 18, you said?
Too.
Hey, if you're joining us, we're putting brakes on our 2016 Forester. I'll show you the quick jack we have here. If you haven't seen our quick jack video on our channel, Fresh Vintage Garage, definitely check it out. But we're putting some Powerstop brakes on our Forester, and we have our brakes here. And what were you saying, Jay? Specific.
2014 to 2018.
2014 to 2018. These, and it's specific to the engine too, right? It's 2 liter versus.
2 liter might be the turbo or something. I'm not sure.
Yes.
And the 2.5, I've got the 2.5, so they're different brakes. So I've got a set of 2 liter ones on eBay. Look them up.
So 2014 to 2018.
Yep.
For a turbo 2 liter. Definitely check if you have a car like this and you're looking for brakes, we can get you a deal. But with that, we're going to actually record a video. We're going to make a video on swapping brakes. How does that look? Pretty good there. You're going to get a chance to see my legs there, so that's kind of weird, but oh well. So we're going to record the video, and this is what we're putting on the Forester today. So pretty cool. All right. So today on Fresh Vintage, we got a Powerstop upgrade for our 2016 Forester. We got our parts, we got our brakes, we got our tools, we got our quick jack. Let's get started right now. That'll be the intro.
3, 2, 1.
Sorry, I should do a mic check. Okay, there we go. Today on Fresh Vintage, we got our 2016 Subaru Forester. We got our Powerstop upgrade we're going to throw on the actual Forester here. We have our tools. We got our quick jack. Let's get started right now. Okay. So just like we said in the intro there, we have ourselves some Powerstop upgrades. This fits 2014 through 2018 Foresters. And there's 2 specific submodels. I say that because there's I believe a turbo 2 liter and a 2.5 liter. And you wouldn't think that that makes a difference on brakes, but we actually have a whole other set of brakes for the other model. So if you need some, we'll leave the link to the eBay listing in the video description here. But that being said, we're going to work on getting the car lifted up. You can see we already have that done. This is our quick jack. Take a look at this thing. If you haven't seen our video on our other channel, Fresh Vintage Garage, really solid setup we have here. This is the TL7000. We mention that because this thing's AL certified, ALI certified. It is not a cheap lift per se. That being said, if you don't have a quick jack, definitely get yourself some jack stands and an actual, car lift. Sorry. One second. So 3, 2, let's see here. 3, 2, 1. If you don't have a quick jack, no worries at all. Just get yourself some jack stands, probably a floor jack, maybe 2, just to be safe, so you can keep the car sturdy and safe, so it's not going anywhere. Let me just show you this quick jack real quick, because it is, I mean, I'm trying. The keys are wiggling in there, and it'd take a lot to knock this over, so it's a very sturdy setup. If you've never heard of a quick jack, definitely check it out on our other channel, Fresh Vintage Garage. But we're going to get started. We're going to pull the wheel off here, and we're going to do everything on the driver's side. And we won't show you the passenger side, but it's basically rinse and repeat on that side. Okay? So 3, 2, 1. Have our trusty A-open here. It does have a Chicago pneumatic. We just put a 19mm socket on there. And the joke I make is, when I think of quality sockets, I think of Iovan, but all joking aside, these are okay for side of the road, but they might tear up your lug nuts or something, so we just went with the Chicago pneumatic. Not a bad way to go. I'm going to take these lug nuts off. These are torqued to 80 foot-pounds, so I think this should have enough oomph. There we go. Whoops. Don't be the guy that goes in a circle. Now we bought this thing off of Amazon for like $60. It was on sale. It's kind of neat because it has a stop. You heard it auto stop, and I make that note because it just won't sit there and spin the lug nuts off, so they roll off somewhere under the car. But we'll take this off and we'll show you what the brakes look like next.
It don't matter how you take them off, star or circle, right?
I don't know.
It's only when you're putting them on because of the torque.
So live stream, what do you think? Not trying to disagree with Jay, but we'll just drum up some controversy in the comments. Is it a circle or a star when you take them off, or doesn't it matter? Jay got some new tires. What did you get these a couple weeks ago, right?
Yep.
These are General Ultimax. Nice tires. So I'm gonna set that over here.
Brakes shouldn't be in that bad a shape. I mean, but why not replace them, you know?
Yeah, let's have a look-see here. So there's the brakes. They're not bad. The car just got inspected, so they're probably good for another year, but we're we're gonna throw these on here. Those look like the right size. We say that because the last time we did this, they weren't the right size. You wouldn't guess, I mean, seriously, for anyone watching, you wouldn't guess that a 2016 Subaru Forester has 2 specific submodels that's dependent on the engine, but that's exactly what we ran into. So we have a whole other set of Powerstop brakes that are currently listed on eBay, simply because I think this is a 2.5 liter, and the 2 liter turbo uses a different set of brakes. Don't ask us why. So kind of weird, but it's all good. All right, well, let's set up for...
We're going to get brake clean.
Yeah, we got to get some brake cleaner, so let's get that.
Because you've been greasing up my rotors.
Oh, yeah. Getting my fingerprints all over them. While Jay does that, let me show you these rotors. If you've never seen or heard of Powerstop, I believe these are Chinese made. So they're probably going to be $10,000 here in a couple more months because of tariffs, but... all my dumb jokes aside, they're nice rotors. I put these on a CRV. Let me just show you here. I put these on a CRV, and I've had nothing but just flawless, like smooth like butter performance. Very, very solid. Braking, very nice. And the actual, let me show you the brake pads. These are carbon fiber ceramic, so the carbon fiber is infused. And I gotta say, for the price point, for what you can go get, whoops, I just dropped the stuff on the ground. There we go, the lubricant. For what you can go buy brakes for at AutoZone or Advance or O'Reilly's or whatever, these are very smooth. And the price point, I mean, they really are not that much different price-wise. The box did show up pretty beat up. I mean, you can see this was not us. I ripped that box open, but this thing, was like that in shipping. So someone tore that up, but oops, sorry, man. So we got a pan, and we have brake cleaner. I've been smudging up the brakes. Oops, if I can learn to use my tripod. So probably want that under you kind of thing. Where's our, we got a 12mm socket. No.
Sticks.
Oh, that's the sticks.
What? 1.5 or 3? Those are half. These are.
We just need like a ratchet and socket for the caliper. Break the caliper loose.
No, we can use that, right? Or not.
For the caliper? I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get that in here. I just need a socket and you know what I mean?
Oh.
Or a 12mm wrench. Is it 13? Oh, grab a.
Look up the torque spec on those.
So something. We didn't abandon you, we promise. We got these hooks. Kind of do one of these deals. You can use a bungee cord too, but that'll just help keep your caliper from dangling. So. And most of you have done brakes, so this is pretty, simple stuff. This is like first, second grade stuff in the automotive world. We're not changing a timing chain or swapping a head or something on a car. But if you've never done brakes before, just take your time. Not hard to do. It's just once you do it, then you're like, oh, I can do this. Just grabbing a ratchet. This is a good time to look, as you have your wheel off, look at your bushings. Bushing's not completely junk. It's a little dry rotted because cars naturally get older. Thank you, sir. So we got a 13mm, 14mm, I'm sorry. 14mm for the caliper bolt. And so we're gonna set up for our shot here. So we're just gonna put that under J, similar, something like that. There we go. And so what we're doing now is we're just actually recording the video for this, so you're gonna hear me say my spiel, so to speak. But okay. Oh yeah, we show that in the video.
All right.
There we go. Arcan, but you can buy these things. You can literally buy them everywhere. You can buy a cheap bungee cord and do the same thing. So, but all right, whenever you're ready.
3, 2, 1.
So now that we have the wheel off, you can see the rotor. It's not bad. It could be better, but that's why we're doing the brake swaps. So they're okay, but they could be better. So that being said, what we need to do is take the bolts out of the caliper, and then just wanted to show you this real quick. We have hooks here. You can use a bungee cord too. If you have a bungee cord, you don't have these, but this is some Arcan brand. You can find these all over the place. We'll leave a link for these in the video description. But we're just hanging this on the coil spring just so that this isn't dangling off of the brake line and messing up your brake line. But let me grab my ratchet here. It's a 14mm gear wrench, and so whoops, that's tight and went the wrong way with it there. So just want to break these loose. Yep. It's pretty loose actually. Yep. So we'll work on getting that one off there. Yep. Ooh, I just found a leaf. Look at that. Yeah, piece of a leaf. Alright, we'll get these out of here and we will hang the caliper on that hook in just a moment. This is where I say get yourself a actual bolt and nut container. So if you've never done this in the live stream, if you've never changed brakes before, and I'm assuming most of you have changed brakes, but this is where you don't want the brake line kind of holding this, because I don't know how much it weighs, 10 pounds or whatever, but it's enough to where you probably bust your brake line, and then you're going to the parts store to deal with that. So we have this hook.
All right, you ready?
Yep. Okay.
3, 2, 1.
So we have our caliper on that S hook, and it's just going to hang right there. That brake line is nice and loose, and from there we can easily get to our brake pads. Nothing major here, just take your time. I'm sure most everyone watching the video has done this before, but if you've never done this before, these are, they're probably about 2/3 used, maybe 3/4 used, so you could get another year out of them, but I would say why not just replace them. Don't be the person who's waiting until your brakes are like, why am I hearing this metal grinding? That's because your brakes are trash, so don't be that person. Get yourself some brakes, get them changed sooner. There's the other one. It's a little bit less, but not much. So for most, I say most foreign cars, I say that because I've had Subarus, I've had other Hondas, and they all have an actual caliper bracket bolt. So this won't come off, the actual rotor won't come off unless we take the caliper bracket off. And there's, I believe these are 17s, but we're going to grab the sockets and see how big these are. Now, for you live streaming here, it's kind of interesting. Jay and I were talking. We're like, I'm pretty sure these things actually have screws in them. And there's no screws in here. Okay. I don't see any. So, and looking at the new, well, it's interesting because looking at the new rotors, there are screw holes, but there's no, so there's screw holes. These are actually threaded, but no one put them in, I'm guessing. Did you put rotors on this before? You've never done it? So people probably just didn't put them in, So don't be that person. I don't think these new rotors, I'm pretty sure for the live streaming audience here, we'll check the packaging, but we're pretty sure those do not come with any kind of screws. Because here's our rubber parts. Interesting. Oh, wait a minute, there's more stuff in here. I say, watch me drop them right down into Jay's HVAC unit. Jay would be happy about that. Have him go ting, ting, ting right down in there. No, I don't see any. Interesting. Hi there, Liana. We see you saying hi. Hi, Dalton. We see you saying hi. Jay says hi, too.
Hey, everybody.
Hey.
Thanks for watching.
Yeah, please like and subscribe. And then watch this video in like a month when we release it. Okay, so here's that.
I think it'll be a lot longer than a month.
That's true. That's a good point. Did you already try 17?
Yeah, 17.
17? Okay. That's a good point. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
So I was on the wrench.
So I was on the wrench. Jay's got the hook up here.
All right, you ready?
Nope. So people of the live stream, some reality here. Thanks Subaru for putting that bolt right here so I can't easily. So that's some reality. So we're probably going to get an extension. Yeah, just a short extension. Just enough to get. This is like such silly stuff. This is what makes you want to slap an engineer, car engineer, to be honest. Because they're like, oh, I never have to work on this, so I don't have to deal with that crap. There we go. So let me break Jay's ratchet. Let me try putting a little muscle into it here.
Need a breaker bar?
Wow. You might need a breaker bar for that one before I break your ratchet. You gonna grab a breaker bar? I say we could try an impact back there, but honestly the impact is not gonna fit back there. You know, if all of those bolts were facing outward, one, I'm not sure how that would work with having a bolt here, but if your caliper bolt was out here, you could just hit it with an impact, but then you'd have people stripping the crap out of it when they torqued it back down with their impact. So, hey, Run, we see you there. Hello, please like and subscribe. We're just doing a brake job. So for everyone who's joined us a little later, we have our, let me just come back here. We have our 2016 Subaru Forester. and we have it up on a quick jack. If you've never seen our quick jack video, go check out our channel, Fresh Vintage Garage. Really cool unit there. 7,000 pound capacity in this case. They also sell a 5,000, a 3,500, a bunch of different styles. But yes, we're doing a brake job and we're doing power stop. I'm not going to touch them, but we're going to do power stop brake upgrades today because the brakes aren't terrible, but they're getting near the end of their life. So where we're at right now is we're taking the caliper bracket off, and we need to get the, oh man, do you have
You need a bigger
pipe,
bar?
like a cheater pipe or something?
You want me to go with the 1/2 inch?
If you have one, yeah. Unfortunately, yeah.
I got you.
While Jay's doing that, I'm gonna try for the bottom one, because the bottom one shouldn't be that big of a deal. Famous last words of a fool. Oh, it should be fine. Or watch this, and then something crazy happens. So, yeah, I can't get to that. I'll just say, as someone who is older than 40, you start thinking about your body's physical limitations sometimes. So you start trying to work a little smarter. The person's like, I can do that, and he man it, and then you're like, oh, I feel terrible the next day. Yes, still, we just need a longer. That thing's not bad, but we need a pipe just to crack those free. So appreciate everybody watching. If you're looking for a decent, I mean, it's Chinese made. It's not a Milwaukee or something, but this Aoben brand is really not too bad. It's got a 4 amp hour battery. We made a video on this and one I bought from Temu, and one, what was the other one? I can't even remember now. The third one, I guess. An Eastwood. I found one literally for 35 bucks, but this one was like $60, $70 or whatever. But it came with some sockets. It came with a case over there. It's not bad. 4 amp hour battery. I mean, I wouldn't run a garage or anything with it, but just for you at home DIY stuff, this is perfect. So it's got just enough oomph to break these free. And I'll show you the case here. This is the case. Comes with some sockets. They're not bad. They're okay. I couldn't believe it when I found that Eastvolt one. The Eastvolt one was $35. I was like, I'm buying this. I don't need it, but I'm going to buy it. So this is also a good time if you've never done a brake job. A lot of you have done a million brake jobs already that are watching, but look at your boots right here, because they're not bad. That one's just got crud on it, but for a second there I thought it was broken.
Where's the
It looks okay.
17mm socket?
I think it's still on here. 3/8.
I have to put an adapter. I don't have a 1/2 inch 17mm socket. So.
Okay. All right, everyone. Leave a comment. Will we or will we not break this this adapter? It'll be fine, I'm sure. What brand is that? Craftsman? Oh, it's a USA Craftsman. It'll be fine. So let me get this. There we go. Okay. All right. Well, let's do the other one live in the video. So stick with us. We're going to record this section. How does that look okay on there?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
3, 2, 1.
So we have one of the caliper bracket bolts broke loose. We have a 1/2 inch impact, or sorry, 1/2 inch breaker bar, forgive me. And we don't actually have a 17mm 1/2 inch drive, so we have an adapter to go from 3/8 to 1/2 inch. So I'm going to break this one loose. And just a note of, you're contending with the actual strut bolts, the heads. So we're trying to get this to fit on here. So that's actually a little bit of a challenge getting that to cleanly fit on there. Wow. Well, so we'll just pause the video there. And that bolt head is
Why don't we use a
I almost need a wrench at this
impact,
point.
1/2 inch or 17 mil impact socket?
Do you have one? Okay. Jay's throwing stuff. There we go. Well, let's see what happens here. Oh, I see what you're saying. It's like, yeah, that's not gonna work. Okay. All right, so we do have a 1/2 inch drive, 17 millimeter. And wow, what a pain. Really, Subaru? This is probably best left for a wrench. But what a pain.
What are you looking for?
I'm just trying to find a way to make this work. Because if you put this on there, that gets on about most of the, yeah, let me try it and see what happens. Let me try it and see what happens. That's always a great way to break something. Let's see here. It's just dumb. It's just Subaru being dumb.
You want a wrench, I guess?
Yeah, sorry. Grab a 17 wrench and maybe another one just so we can torque it. Well, this is reality. We're not trying to sugarcoat or hide this. This is the baloney you deal with when working. Put it on my tab at Harry's. There you go. Yeah, making that reference. For those of you who don't see what's happening here, it's just enough in the way. This is so dumb. And maybe there's a thing I'm not thinking about. I mean, that kind of fits, but you see it's not 100% on that. And I want that to be like as square and true as possible. Granted, it's a 17 millimeter, but we don't want to make excuses for like, oh, that's how I stripped the bolts. Like, how did you strip a 17 millimeter? It's like, well, that's how I did it. Thank you. There we go. Now we're cooking. We got that. And we're just going to double up the wrenches. So if you've never seen that before, it's like instant extra torque. Okay, so whenever you're ready. Okay.
3, 2, 1.
Okay, so plan B, we got a 17 millimeter wrench and we got an 18 just to add some extra torque because this bolt, take a look at this down in here. I just, for the life of me, could not get that socket and that extension to work in there. So I'm gonna, fingers crossed, break this free right now without actually breaking my hand or anything. So there we go, perfect. Literally spent 10 minutes getting that to where we could break it free. But we're gonna get this caliper bracket off of here momentarily, and then we'll get the rotor off next. Now, if you're wondering how long the live stream goes, it'll go until the battery goes dead. So, but luckily, I have a 5,000 milliamp hour battery pack phone case on the iPhone we're using, so it'll last a while. We actually use this phone. If you haven't seen our videos at Barrett Jackson, we just, no joke, we put this phone on a tripod and we just started live streaming and walked away. And we walked away for probably like 2 hours, and that battery pack kept the phone alive. And it was just live streaming the cars going into the auction at Barrett Jackson.
Hey Jason, we weren't at the hollow tube point yet, so we got tools, but until then, I don't think we'd have enough room to put a hollow tube on that wrench to get it.
Oh yeah, that's a good
with
point.
the wheel well.
Yeah, that's what I was looking for with the like a cheater pipe, you know. So there's that, and there's our.
But it's hard to do with the wheel well.
Yeah. It's also hard when your car engineers that build the car are stupid.
All right, take the bracket back off, and is there something holding it?
So there's no, and I guess we just gotta hit it.
Yeah.
Gotta hammer it so we can destroy Jay's wheel speed sensors. That'll be our next video. I I say that because that's exactly what, well, we were changing a half shaft and I destroyed one of the wheel speed sensors on my Pilot. Okay, so let's see this. All right.
Three, two, one.
So here's our 17 millimeter. The other one's right off my shoulder there. There's our caliper bracket bolts, or sorry, bolt and caliper bracket, sorry. And I was just thinking, oh, I'll just pull this off of here. And weird thing, it's, you know, there's supposed to be screws in here. And I've rubbed my hands, my fingers here. I'm like, well, maybe they're hidden because of the dust or something. But I don't see what's holding this on other than literally just friction and rust. So we're gonna grab the hammer. Thank you, sir. And we're gonna destroy our eardrums right now, and fingers crossed this won't take too much hammering. Yeah, that's loud. Looks like the rotors are not held on by the nut, right? Man, these things are on there. Give them one more hit here. Okay, well, those are not budging. You got any PB Blaster, WD-40 or anything? Yep. I'd use brake cleaner, but that's not the right thing. Oh. Forgive the legs you keep seeing in the video here. We see 132 people watching. We appreciate you watching. We're spending our Saturday afternoon swapping brakes. It's weird. Most foreign cars, and I'm sure a lot of American ones, they, you know, you put the screws in. We have the impact screwdriver right over here to our left, and they should be in there. But not only are they not in there, but I'm guessing this is pretty rusted up. And I actually had this issue. I have a Jeep Cherokee, and I had the same issue with, they weren't the right rims, I'll say that. I think they were Ford rims, but the bolt pattern's the same, so I stuck them on the front, and I had to beat the heck out of them things to get it off the front of the Cherokee because there were snow tires on the rims. While we're waiting for Jay, let me show you the tires. Here's my Cherokee. We just bought these tires last week at Walmart. These are 235/75 R15s. They're $72 a tire. And they're made in the US to boot. It's incredible. All right, so let's go back over here. We got a bigger hammer. That's the solution to everything. Get a bigger hammer, right?
Oh, yeah.
Got PB Blaster. PB Blaster. These brakes stand no chance. Let me throw some PB Blaster on. There we go. I'm guessing that'll probably be the first thing we should do once we you know, attack the rest of the tires as soon as I get the wheel off. So, can you see that okay? There we go. Good enough. There we go. Little PB Blaster got the job done. Okay. So we'll throw that in the video and just say that was just enough rust, and we need a bigger hammer. So.
3, 2, 1.
So wanted to mention that we tried small hammer and no PB Blaster, and these were pretty well stuck on there. So we just shot some PB Blaster here, and we got a little bit bigger hammer, and that was just enough to get the job done because you can see they're moving. So I'm going to turn it a little bit. There we go. And that thing was stuck on there. I was hammering pretty good with this other hammer, but bigger hammer and PB Blaster got the job done. So take this off, and also don't forget your catch tray because you don't want to put that crap into the ground. Here's our rotor, and you know, it's not bad. aside from me hammering on it. You can see where I damaged it, but it's okay. Would you leave it on your car if you had to? Yes, but should you replace it? Absolutely, which is why we're doing this, because these are, how many years are these?
Original.
They're originals, so. But we'll get this cleaned up. We'll get the other one, get my hands cleaned up too, and we'll put the Powerstop rotor and pads on here in just a moment. Now, if you've never done this type of job, I'm talking on the live stream now. If you've never done this type of job and you're worried about doing brakes, this is not that hard. It looks hard, and the garages charge a lot of money for it, but it's really not that hard.
I think it was like pad slap was like $300 at the dealer.
And what Jay's talking about is all the work we just did, minus taking the rotor off. So we'll take these bolts out and replace these. It's $300 of an axle, right?
Yeah.
So 20, 30 minutes just for a pad slap, just for replacing the pads and not putting a new rotor on. So this is pretty easy to do. Checking to make sure my microphone's working. If you have never done this before, it's very easy to do. Just, you need the right tools and you need a little bit of patience and confidence. So, and interestingly, oh wow, look at that. Did they break? Did they strip the, like, what did they do? I wonder if they didn't put them in there because the screws broke off in the hub.
Huh.
I mean, I'm just guessing, but so I have gloves here that are clean, and you're gonna hit this new rotor with you're gonna hit this new rotor with brake cleaner anyway. Go, but grab that. Now these are specific. You see it says driver's side front, or front driver's side, I should say. And ideally, being if you're in a foreign car situation like this, or if you have screws, you want to make sure those actual threaded holes line up with where the holes should normally go. Like right there, that's where those shiny spots are. There should be screws there. So I'm kind of wondering if they like broke them off or something in the bearing assembly. But I'm kind of doing this backwards because you want to hit these, hit your rotor.
Am I recording this? Or?
Huh? I was just talking on the live stream, but
Oh no,
well,
but we gotta. All right.
Okay. Yep.
3, 2, 1.
So new shiny rotor. You'll notice with the Powerstop they make it pretty much dummy proof front driver's side, so that's where we're at. We're gonna hit it with some brake cleaner, and again, do your best to not get this in the ground. Blah blah blah. And you don't have to use quite as much as I'm using, but I was touching these earlier with my grubby hands, so to speak. So, and just for some commentary, you see there's holes here, or like little circles. We think they're supposed to be screws because these are threaded, but there's no actual screws in this. So we'll probably have screws, but we don't have any. I'm guessing they most likely broke them off in the hub or something, but I'm just gonna wipe this rotor down just to get one little extra layer of any potential gunk off of there. And I'm gonna take that back off of there. It doesn't hurt, just to make it a little bit cleaner. We'll just throw it back on there. And with that in place, we'll work on putting our caliper bracket back on. Now, for people watching in the live stream, if you've ever thought about watching or starting a YouTube channel, I don't swear much, but it can be a real pain in the ass, just to be honest. Jay and I work full-time jobs, and we kill ourselves sometimes to try to keep, we have 3 channels that we're running, and we try to keep video and content for. So I say that to say, if you want to start a YouTube channel, you can. It's just a lot of work. It's not easy, and sometimes it's not fun.
Jason, what do you got against drum brakes?
That's what I really want, Jason, is some drilled and slotted brake, like drums, you know? Should probably record this part once that plane goes over. want to replace your hardwire or let it ride?
It came with new, right?
Yeah.
I'd prefer to, yeah.
Okay. Grab the new stuff.
Should we gotta put grease on it and stuff, right?
Nah, we don't need no grease. Slap it back together. Good to go, right? Who wants brakes that work good? Now, I was joking, but there's a lot of shops that possibly would do just that. Slap it all back together, because are you going to take your wheel off and check? Probably not. Thank you. Powerstop's pretty solid. They give us synthetic brake component lubricant and actual pieces here. So I'm going to try to do this. Wow, amazing. All the threading I thought I was doing, I wasn't doing. All right, well, let's do this. Okay, whenever you're ready.
3, 2, 1.
So here is our caliper bracket, and if you've never done a brake job before, you know, you veterans, you know this, you know the drill here, but these are what the actual brake pads sit in, and sometimes they get pretty darn, wow, that thing is stuck on there. There we go. So just go ahead and make sure you don't do what I just did, because now I'm sitting here wondering which side. Oh, there. Okay, so there's a side, there's a thing, like a tab on each side. So do this. Now this should, in theory, click into place. It takes a little bit of effort sometimes. Okay. And the upper one, I believe the upper one was, yeah, this was the upper one. There you go. And forgive me, that took a little bit longer than I thought it would. So there's that. And now you want to grease these, but I want to mount this on the actual hub assembly first. We're going to grab our 17 millimeters, and you can see I just popped that back out of there. I can't sit here and say you should or shouldn't use Loctite on these. I would personally never use Loctite on these, but if you want to use Loctite, it's probably not something you should do. But it's your car, you can do whatever you want. There's that. Oops. Sorry, there's our other 17 millimeter. Okay, stop recording. What's this thing doing? We may have a problem here. I think it's actually going in this time. Okay. Okay, there's that. Okay.
Okay. 59 foot-pounds.
59 foot-pounds. All right. So we're gonna go get our actual torque wrench, and big shout out to Harbor Freight for sending it over. They sent us this. We reached out to them because we saw them at SEMA, and if you haven't seen our Icon scantool videos, go check them out on Fresh Vintage Garage. They sent us this because we saw them at SEMA, and they're like, "Hey, we're doing a brake job. Send us a torque wrench." And they're like, "You got it." So that thing's probably, I don't even want to really give a price, but it's probably over $100 bill, to be honest. I'm guessing.
I can get it open.
I'll show you what Jay's working on here. Get the chainsaw and chop it up. Hi, Burn Cookie. We appreciate you watching. Hi, Roderick. Sorry if we missed you.
Like Christmas.
It's like Christmas, yeah.
Oh, we got a full face.
I got a torque wrench. That's what I've always wanted. If you're a mechanic, you might actually say that.
Ooh, nice.
Ooh, look at that. An emergency brake glass, right? Very nice. Nice job, Harbor Freight.
Yeah, that's impressive.
Oh, my legs. Oh, that hurts. Okay, there we go.
Is this gonna fit?
I don't know.
Might be too long.
Oh, thank you. Oh, okay, so it's got a thingy. Ah, that hurt. I just smashed my finger. So 59 foot-pounds, you said?
Yeah.
So it's got a little gauge. You see that? It's got a little gauge. So 50, that's, was it 5-pound increments? Yeah, so right there. And then in theory, you put this up, so you can't mess with it. Yeah, so that's 59.
17.
Half inch. Yeah, that's, you might not fit that on there on that top one.
Might not fit.
Right, Betty. Okay, sit down for this one.
Video or no?
Yeah, I'm just,
If it'll fit.
the bottom one we got. Okay, so we'll do the video here. We'll just big shout out to Harbor Freight, send this over. They're not sponsoring the video because it's a brake video, but you know they sent this over, so I just want to shout it out. This thing is really solid. Comes in a case. You can show me that case there. It's got a little plastic front there, so you can always see if someone grabbed their torque wrench. Okay.
3, 2, 1.
So now we need to torque our caliper bracket bolts to 59 foot-pounds. And big shout out to Harbor Freight for sending us over. We saw them at SEMA and they're like, hey, we're doing a brake job. Can you send this to us? And they happily did. So thank you for this. Really, really awesome. Comes in a really nice case. It actually has a plastic see-through so you can see if someone grabbed your torque wrench or not. But it has a little dial on the side. So we set it to 59 foot-pounds and then this actually flips up and holds that in place. And I'm just looking at it. Yep, it didn't change. The challenge we have is the same challenge we had getting that top bolt broke free. Is now we're trying to contend with getting this around the strut bolt head. So I have those tightened down as much as I can, by hand I should say. And I'm guessing at some point I may have to stand up for this. Because 59 foot-pounds isn't that much, because this thing's pretty long, but it's definitely going to take a little bit of effort. Well, it just clicked. Now, this does give you the ability to do this. It's kind of flexible. It's got a little bit of flex, but I don't know if that's actually going to help us here. And I will say, of all the things I thought we would be contending with today, this bolt hitting bolt head kind of thing is not one of them, to be honest. So I'm going to tighten that down. So I don't know what the torque is on that, but I'm going to try and get this on there and actually get 59 foot-pounds on this. Man, that's a pain. Okay.
Yeah.
So for all you live stream watchers, we're gonna break this down. We're gonna get that on there. We may have to use a short extension or something, but I'm gonna do this.
Now the caliper bolts are 19 foot-pounds, and this only goes down to 40, so we're not going to be able to use it for the caliper bolts.
Yeah, that's
for the
probably just going to
bracket.
be tighten.
Yeah, just
snug them down.
tighten it down.
This is not our preferred method. So for everyone watching on the live stream, you're not getting the right torque. Whoops. I just did that wrong. You're going to lose torque. As this gets longer, you lose torque. So you're not going to get 59. You're going to get 59 foot-pounds here, but you're not going to get it out here. You might get like 55 or something like that. But that's honestly the only way we're going to be able to sort of kind of torque this down to the right spec. So that's on there.
Hey, Joseph and Roderick.
Yep. Now,
Yeah.
I mean, that says it's already, that's clicking, so I actually got them. Let me just check the bottom one for comparison. Yeah, it's clicking on both of them, so we're at 59 foot-pounds. I'm just gonna hit this top one just a little bit more with the wrench. It's not a head bolt, folks, but I also don't want to find out that this came apart. That's plenty tight. I go with the old redneck. It's tight enough, and that's plenty tight enough for me. So that's plenty tight enough. Okay. Okay. So probably just want to shout that out in the video. Let me with this. You can show a close-up shot of that back there. Just show that we can't get this to properly fit on there. Just tell people, if you're watching this video and you're doing this brake job, you're probably going to have to deal with this. So, and I'll just mention, so we threw the wrenches on there. We tightened it down to as close to 59 foot-pounds as we can get it. So
3, 2, 1.
okay, so what we're struggling with here is you can see that head bolt there and this head are just too close together. We ended up using a couple different things. We have an extension, and then I put a 1/2 inch to 3/8 adapter. And you're not going to get exactly 59 foot-pounds. You're going to lose some torque across that length. So we just threw the wrench back on it and gave it an extra little hit. But ultimately, those two bolts have to be at 59 foot-pounds. And so from here, what we want to do is open up our Powerstop lubricant, grease these up, break out our new brake pads, and then install them. All right. Now, for you watching in the live stream, it looks cool that we're like getting all these tools and all this stuff, but we're at what, 3 years now we've been doing this, and it's taken a lot of time to develop these relationships and reach out to people. And half of these vendors seem legit, but they're not legit. They're the ones that we don't work with. And so when you see YouTubers getting all this free crap, what it looks like anyway, we have not gotten really that much stuff, and we also I don't think we've taken any money from anyone. People think us YouTubers make millions of dollars. We don't. All right, so here's our old brake pad. And for the people who've never done a brake job before, I threw these on the ground. I have no idea. So which one's which? So this one goes on, let's see here, that one goes on the piston side, so that's in here, like that, and then this one is conversely like this. So we're going to put this one, make sure you line those up, so this one goes, oh, this one goes right here, just like that, so boom, and then you got the other one. So this one has to go on the inside, and we'll show that in the video. Although, oh, is that the anti-squeak? Yeah, that's the noise one, the low pad warning, when it squeals. Okay. Okay, whenever you're ready.
3, 2, 1.
So we're ready to put our new pads on, and you throw these on the ground and you forgot all about them, and you're like, oh shoot, which one goes where and how? What we're going to do is take and identify the actual piston circles here, and then this is the actual outside of this. So if you think about that caliper sitting here, your pistons are on the inside, so this one's on the inside. So that means you need to match these. Oops, if I can get it right. So this one needs to go on the inside, and then the other one actually needs to sit on the other side. So that is like that. And so we're going to install these onto the actual caliper bracket. At least I think. Is that how those go on? That goes on the bottom, right? What does this thing do? Okay, well, I mean, that one was there. Oops, wrong one. Yeah. So that one, it's weird, this one, just for everyone on the live stream, there's a piece of metal here, and this one's bent up, so I'm guessing that kind of is just a spring which holds this in place. Go.
Say hey to Ahmet.
Ahmet, we see you, man. Appreciate you watching. Well, it makes sense that this would go back in here like this. Okay, let's try this side. That should go. Those are tight fit, I will say that. So what I'm fighting with for everyone on the live stream is I'm trying to fit this metal in this thing and this all in the right spots at the same time. And aside from that bolt on the caliper bracket, this is unfortunately far more common than it should be. You just gotta fight with these dumb things to go in properly. It's always these pieces of metal too, which are a pain. Alright, so there's that. You also have to think about you're contending with the rotor and gravity naturally wanting to fall down. So this is going to want to sit cockeyed, so these aren't going to necessarily sit true.
Ready for video?
Nah, not yet. This back one. This front one was actually the easy one. This back one's a pain. It's harder to see back in. sure. You don't have to turn the wheels, but this might be a good idea to where you turn the wheels so you can see back here a little bit better. It's amazing how much of a chore this front piece of metal is being right now. So I can get that one in, but then the bottom one becomes the hard part. Alright, I'm sorry, can you turn the wheels? It's just everything in here is so new and it's being a real pain about moving properly. Thank you. We're just gonna turn the wheels. Perfect. Now, just some personal commentary. The putting a car up on jack stands and a car being a unibody can potentially be an issue if you open a door because your entire car, including the door, is part of the frame structure. But I make that note because I had no worry about the quick jack being up because it's a very stable, safe thing. So I'm not really worried about that. I'm going to gently tap. There we go. Show you this here. There we go. So there's that. And it's going to be a tiny bit off only because the rotor's not, bolted down with the wheels. But that's what we're looking for. And so we're ready to throw our bolts back in. Okay. All right.
3, 2, 1.
Oops. So 3, 2, 1. So if we take a look down here, you can see what we did. It took a little bit of effort, and I had to fight because you're fighting a few things. This is new, and you got to squeeze the brake pad in, which is a pretty common thing, but you also have to fit all of this in and make sure everything's happy. So doing that on both sides took a little work, and the rotor is also sitting a little cockeyed because it doesn't have the wheel mounted to it. But we got all of that done. So what I'm going to do now is grab our caliper and work on putting this back on. But before we do that, we actually have to push the pistons in so that it's wide enough so it can accommodate the new rotor and the thickness of the new brake pad. So we're going to grab our actual tool for that and push those pistons back in. Almost forgot about that. I'm just going to throw the caliper right on there. That's what we really need the scan tool for, huh? Electronic parking. Just hit the button and reset the front calipers. Man, mechanics would love that. All right, thank you. Have you looked at your brake fluid lately to see how full it is?
No.
I'm sure everyone in the live stream has done a brake job before, but if you haven't, this tool is pretty readily available. You can find it at pretty much any parts store. The challenge here is we have twin piston, which I didn't really think about that till now. It's actually kind of neat that you have twin piston on that. It's definitely going to make a difference once you have these on there, You're definitely going to have a little bit more of a performance oriented vehicle now.
Ready?
Yeah, I'm just looking at that. It's not leaking, so okay.
3, 2, 1.
So if you've never actually used one of these, this is a tool that pushes the piston, or in this case we have two pistons, back in, and what you're doing is basically pushing your brake fluid back up into your brake fluid reservoir. So we took a look at ours. It feels to be good. It's not full right now, but you gotta remember, if you're pushing fluid back up into that actual reservoir and it's already full, it may go past the seal on the cap and start leaking out into your engine bay. So give it a quick eye, a quick look before you do this. But we have the old brake pad set up, so we're just gonna slowly work on pushing this in. And if we sped this up, you would see where those would go back in. But we're just gonna finish this off camera. And then the next shot will be us installing this back onto the bracket. That thing's getting heavy. Oh no, it's dripping all over the ground. Which it might actually do that. So you got to think about it for people watching on the live stream. If you've been very conscientious and you've been watching your brake fluid level, and your brakes are very thin, your calipers are very full of fluid. And I make that note because, man, this is getting to be pretty heavy. You got to imagine you're pushing a ton of fluid back into your reservoir. And how does it look now?
That's good.
It's good? Okay. Man, this is taking longer than I thought it would. You don't have to move it to the other side. So I'm just going to move it to the other side. Oh, the motor's taking forever. The damn handle's broke. Look at that. I'm sitting here spinning. I'm like, it's taking a while. Yeah, the handle's broken, that thing.
Huh. Got an old Ampro crap.
I'll be spinning that till the cows come home. So you got one in there? Alright.
Luckily.
Yeah, the handle's broke. Yeah, so the plastic handle cracked in multiple places, so that thing's toast. We have a power built kit, thank you. We have a power built kit here, basically the same exact thing. Something tells me this one's going to take a little bit more effort. So I was just sitting there spinning. I'm like, man, those are going back in smooth. They're like, I hardly feel any pressure off of those. Because we're pushing two pistons in, I'm trying to get it as close as possible to the center. That's a little bit more like it. And that handle's spinning.
Huh.
Well, what's plan B here? I mean, is that all the further they go back in? No.
You get a big C-clamp?
I mean, I guess, yeah. I think the challenge is you're dealing with two different pistons, you know? You must need a dual unit for this. I don't think that that's down all the way, but I'm gonna check. No, that's yeah, that's not wide enough. Well, let's see what else Jay has in his toolbox. That's kind of crazy that that's kind of crazy. I've never run into that before. Appreciate you watching. We know you could be out mowing the yard or working on your own car or just hanging out with the family, but we appreciate you hanging out with us. Jay's got the big guns. All right, time to break something. So we killed that one. So what we're going to do now is kind of flip this, and we're going to put this on edge of the caliper. This should be interesting. I'm a little surprised that we managed to do that. Okay. Now, I have bent these before in rare circumstances, so fingers crossed I'm not 3 for 3 here. There we go. So I'm just going to do this. Let's see how this goes. It's gone back in. The problem is you got to push one by one. I don't want to put it on the edge of the brake. And I guess I could put it on the bolt. The banjo bolt head, but I'm a little worried about actually doing that. I'm a little surprised that this has dual pistons. Okay, I believe that one is fully bottomed out. And forgive me, I've said it a million times in the live stream already, but if you've never done this before, you're just basically pushing the pistons back in and you'll feel when they bottom out, because that'll get completely like rock hard of the stop. And so you also, this is the perfect time to look and check for rust. Check for any type of wetness, because if there's like wetness, that means your seal's leaking. And when you slam on the brake pads slam on the brake pedal because the guy in front of you slammed on the brakes for no apparent reason, you want to make sure this doesn't blow out. So this is all clean and dry, so we're good. So. Okay, so we're going to record the actual video part here. Okay.
3, 2, 1.
So forgive our little bit of a mini saga off camera. We successfully broke this handle. You can see the cracks in it there. And then we have another one from a power built kit. We broke that handle trying to turn these down. So we went out and we got ourselves a C-clamp, and these are widely available. You can get them all over the place. But this had enough oomph and structural integrity, to be honest, to push. We ended up having to go back and forth pushing these down, because you're pushing 2 pistons at the same time. And we couldn't get the C-clamp centered properly because of this and the banjo bolt on the other side. But all that to say, they are pushed in now, and this is a great time if you look close. You just want to look in here, look for rust. I mean, they're rusty, but they're not wet. The wet is the telltale. If you see wet, that is a potential issue because these seals are probably leaking. But we're nice and dry in here, so in theory, this should slide right over, just like that. And something else you want to watch for are these sliders. They're both moving. You could replace those if you wanted, but they're both moving very nicely. So we're going to make sure they're pushed in, because that bottom one actually was fighting me. It wouldn't let me slide that in. And we'll get the 14 millimeters in here right now. Okay. You want to put anything on these? Grease?
Oh, I've got.
Appreciate everybody watching. We see 103 of you watching there. So there's our actual caliper. And I want to give that a test once the wheel's on. Once you clamp this down, you'll know if something's amiss. And what I mean is, granted, you have new everything in here in an old caliper, so unless you didn't push the pistons back in, you know, that shouldn't be an issue holding. So when we tighten these down, I want to see if everything spins. If everything doesn't spin, That probably means you have to stop, thank you. Stop and take a moment, take it back apart and look at it because something is amiss kind of thing. So it should spin and need a little bit of friction, but not, have a little bit of friction, but not that much. So we're gonna put some anti-seize on here. You don't have to go crazy with it, but just a little bit. If you plan on owning this car more than say a year, you're probably gonna have to do brakes at some point again. You don't do brakes every year, but you just want to do this so the next time you take this apart, these go back in and come out nice and easy. And also, don't be afraid to give this a little bit of a wiggle. There we go. Okay, so those are both in. I'm trying to keep them from stripping. Cross threading. Okay, there's that. All right. Wait a minute. Where's the thingy? Technical term, thingy. Where's our 14 millimeters? Is that it?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
3, 2, 1.
So we are back to the ratchet and 14 millimeter here. We have our bolts in. I did throw some anti-seize on them. You can find that at pretty much any parts store, or if you want to buy using our link in the video description, you can. But put the lube on there so that it actually will stay tight, but also come back apart and not fight you in a couple years if you have to do your brakes again, kind of thing. So we're just going to tighten these down. I already took the liberty to make sure they are going in straight and they're not cross-threading. You'll definitely feel them if they start cross-threading because they immediately, like a turn in, they start getting hard and we don't want that. So we'll just crank these down 19 foot-pounds if I remember correctly. So we don't actually have a torque wrench. The Harbor Freight one you saw earlier in the video, it doesn't go down to 19. I think it goes to 40 is the lowest it goes to. So we're just going to tighten these up, and we'll say it's tight 19 foot-pounds, but if you're actually using a torque wrench, definitely torque them down to 19 foot-pounds. Let's say that's tight enough, especially knowing the torque I put on that other one to achieve 59 foot-pounds. Yeah, that's tight. And now this is where another awesome job by Subaru here, putting the brake line right in the way of that bolt head. So this is where I just want to spin this, and that's exactly what you want, because you have a caliper that can still float, it can still move around, it's not locked up, and it's not locked up because the rotor is actually turning. And granted, we turn the wheel so we can get to the back brake pad. But if this won't spin by hand, you need to stop what you're doing, take it back apart, because something's not happy. Something is binding, and if you try to drive it, you're just going to end up tearing your brand new brakes up. So that being said, we're going to throw the wheel back on, and we'll show you any issues on the passenger side, but we won't show you the passenger side. It's literally the same thing, but we'll jump to the end of the video now, minus any actual issues that come up on the passenger side. The audience on the live stream, I say tighten enough. Make sure you torque it to 19 foot-pounds. Do what you do on your own car, though. It's not our car, it's your car, so you're responsible for the appropriate torques and installation and uninstall, blah blah blah. So we got a big old mess here on this side, so we're going to move everything over to the passenger side now, and we're going to take you on that journey. We'll probably you want to put the wheel back on?
Yeah, we gotta clean it.
Oh yeah. Jay just wants to huff the brake cleaner. There we go. Gotta keep it clean.
Yep.
It sounds silly to say.
Center of the steering wheel.
Yeah, please. It sounds silly to say, but Jay's 100% right. I just inadvertently touched this rotor surface, and it's eventually it's going to get gunk on it. It's going to get brake dust, it's going to get stuff, but if I put one little chip or stone or something in there, it's going to tear the surface of that stuff. the first time you hit the brakes, it's going to tear the surface up there. So no sense in doing that. Just add one more quick layer there of clean. That's tight. Just to recap, we've tightened these and the actual caliper bracket bolts. And from there, there should be threaded screws in here, but they're not. Maybe we'll find ones on the passenger side. We're going to throw the wheel back on, and then we're going to take the passenger side apart. That one will go a lot quicker, simply because we're not going to be talking through it and shooting videos. So.
You want to get the thumbnail?
Oh yeah, grab the thumbnail. Here's our thumbnail. Throw some text on the screen, and I'm just, it says front driver's side. I'll probably delete that out of the image, but go. I'll get a close-up one. There we go. Now when you put a new wheel on, you want to tighten the bolts or the lug nuts down in a circle and make sure you get them up to at least 300 foot-pounds. What?
This is for quick drag. So.
Huh? Oh, you're doing a quick jack photo? Oh yeah, okay. Jay's taking a photo for Quick Jack. Super awesome crew over there. If you've never seen Quick Jack in action, this is your first experience with them, definitely check out their website. I'm pretty sure it's quickjack.com.
Yep.
Solid units, and they are ALI certified. Let me just do this. Let me put the wheel on. I'll show you what ALI certified means. There we go. Put our lug nuts on. You want to put anti-seize on the lug nuts, or?
Yeah, if it's not too big a deal.
Good. It is all good.
You said 80 on the studs?
Subaru's 80, I believe, yeah. Well, we should probably spot check that. Honda's 80. I think Subaru's actually 89 foot-pounds now that I'm thinking about it. Because Subaru has to be different like everyone else. Now, if you live in the South, like we do, you may not have to deal with rust.
89.
89 foot-pounds, there we go.
So it's going to get a 90.
Gonna get that extra foot-pound. If you live in the north, eastern, or the northern part of the U.S., you deal with this little thing called rust. And I can't think of a better reason to put anti-seize in your lug nuts than just plain old rust. Because it'll make your life absolutely miserable trying to take stupid lug nuts off if these things end up rusting.
What's a torque stick, you ask?
I'm glad you asked that question. What's a torque stick? Earlier in the video, we talked about you only have so much torque coming out. So, ideally, you know, on those bolts we were talking about earlier, you want 59 foot-pounds. Well, you're going to lose torque across this, and that's exactly why they engineered it like this. They engineered it to provide 89, or in this case, 90 foot-pounds of torque at the actual socket here, so that you don't really have to worry about using a torque wrench. We're still going to spot check it, but in this case, whoops, when you put the impact on tighten and not loosen, you end up with 90 foot-pounds directly to the lug nut. So we're going to give this just a little bit of a tighten. There we go. And then we're going to hit them one more time, and you don't have to go crazy with this because we have the torque wrench. Where is the torque wrench? Is it behind me? It's behind me. Do you have a 19? I guess I could just use that one. We're just going to spot check those. I guess we should throw that in the video, huh? come from? What's that?
I think that goes in the bottom of that socket.
Oh. Oh, okay. So 90, so 80, 85, 90 foot-pounds.
Just go, yeah, 89, but
89.
close enough.
There we go. Yep. Okay, so we'll throw that in the video real quick.
All right.
Okay.
3, 2, 1.
So what's a torque stick, you ask? I'm glad you asked that question, because that's exactly what we have here. We have a 90 foot-pound torque stick, and earlier in the video we were talking about torque loss in a in a torque wrench situation, where you have 90 foot-pounds here or 120 foot-pounds here. You're going to lose some, and that's exactly how they engineered this. You're intentionally losing torque, and they make this specific diameter so that you end up with 90 foot-pounds here at the end. So we've already torqued this down, but as you deliver torque to this, you're going to have 90 foot-pounds at the actual lug nut. Now, we've already hit those once, but we're going to hit the actual brake pedal, and we're going to torque these down to 90 foot-pounds. We have the icon unit set to 90 foot-pounds here. It's technically 89 foot-pounds is the exact measurement, but you're not going to be able to get 89 foot-pounds exactly on here. So we're going to hit the brakes, click these once each, and then we're going to jump over to the passenger side. All right. Easy enough. Now, for all those folks watching the live stream, this is kind of a two-man job per se, but it's easy enough to do. Jay's hitting the brakes. Just going to do this. Yeah. There's that one. That one. That one. Yep. And just like that. Now we've sufficiently made a nice big mess here. This is a 2016 Subaru Forester. Sorry, I was reading your comment. I use Loctite instead of anti-seize on caliper bolts. I can't disagree, and there's probably a good school of thought for that. I'm just hitting the battery power button on our, what do you call it here, because I'm assuming my phone is probably almost dead. So, and if you abruptly see the live stream end, then that's why, because the battery went dead. But we're going to dive over to the passenger side. This is going to be a lot more work, faster, and a lot less talking per se, simply because we just recorded 80 to 90% of the video. So this one's just going to be us just wrenching. There we go.
Making dad joke.
Making that, yeah. So I hope you're ready for some amazing jokes, because we're going to try and come up with as many as possible.
So I believe the Mustang has 4 caliper, 4 pistons, so I'll have to get a special caliper compressor or something.
It's an interesting thing that we experienced. I've never had a handle brake like that before.
Yeah.
Probably because we were pushing not only were we pushing 2 pistons in, but we were pushing them. The one was actually getting pushed off angle, probably like 15, 20 degrees off axis, or off, I should say, perpendicular to the, yeah. This lug nut's being a pain, and I got a power tool, so it's going to be a pain for about 2 more seconds. There we go. Good thing we have our light sticks. Stay there. All right. 14 millimeter. Oops.
I'm gonna measure these just to see what they came out at. They're probably like 30 seconds.
Yeah. we're still obviously live streaming for the video here. What just happened? Oh man. There we go. Almost rounded the head off of that caliper bolt. Man. Forgive my, oops, as I almost dropped the camera. Forgive my griping, but that is really tight there. It's probably best left for a wrench, to be honest. We appreciate everybody watching. Forgive us constantly saying please like and subscribe, but we make car content. We want you to watch the car content. We appreciate you watching. Now, if you haven't heard, if you just found us on our vertical shorts feed, you're just surfing through the shorts there. This is our vertical channel, Fresh Vintage Shorts. We have two channels in addition to this called Fresh Vintage. That's our main one, and that is classic cars, muscle cars. We went to SEMA. We go to Mecum Auctions as we have time. We both work full-time jobs, so this is our weekend thing, so to speak. And honestly, we're already putting brakes on a car, so why not make a video about it? But all that to say, we appreciate you watching. Please check out Fresh Vintage. And you can see, I'm going to show you this time around. Before I tear this apart, I'm going to make note that this piece is in fact underneath there, just like I thought it was. And this piece is right there. So we're going to pull that apart. This will go a little bit quicker because we're not explaining everything 2-3 times in the video. Does it look like everything good? Yeah. Where's everybody from? Tell us where you're from.
So this is a 2016 Subaru Forester. We're doing the front brakes on it.
That one's a little thinner. Look at that.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So you can see sometimes, I mean, that's not super uncommon, but it's actually noticeable how thin that other pad is. So.
Yeah, the other was 4/32. So this was, yeah, that's a lot thinner. That's probably 2/32. Jeez.
Where is?
What?
Is the 17 millimeter socket? Yeah, the impact socket.
Yep.
There we go. Thank you. All right. I think I've seen it at one point we had 130 people watching. So I'm going to have to come up for this one. Sounds silly to say those felt like they're about 59 foot-pounds, but they're definitely torqued. Do you have the other? Oh, there it is, right there, the other wrench. Leave us a comment if you like watching this type of content, because we normally make videos like this all the time, but we've never done a live stream like this. This is probably our first vertical live stream of a car video that we've made. I'm glad it didn't hurt my hand there. Alrighty. And just like the driver's side, this is a great time to just look at everything under here. Your car is always talking to you. That sounds stupid to say, but people who don't pay attention to their cars and the noises their car makes, if your brakes are squealing when you hit them, that's that little metal thing I was mentioning earlier. It's actually telling you your brakes are getting thin. If you see stuff leaking when you're at the parking lot, at the store, your car is leaking something. If you run out of engine oil, then your engine's going to stop working. Stupid statement of the day, but there's a lot of people who, that's just a completely foreign concept to them. Even your struts, if your struts are wet, like what is that? Oh, that's dry. Okay. I thought it was a leaking strut, but no, it's just a little spot. is that? Now you can see right here we have again no screws. So I'm not sure what the deal is there.
Yeah, I don't know what that.
And that baby is rock solid on there. So we're gonna hit it with a little PB blaster.
A lot of people sharing our Metallica videos on Facebook.
Yeah, Jay, talk about Metallica.
Yeah, so they came to Blacksburg, Virginia, of all places, to play at Virginia Tech Lane Stadium, where the football team plays.
And what are some of the other cities that they went to?
They were at Nashville Monday.
Oh, were they? Okay.
They're going to Toronto, and I don't know the exact big cities around the country. But Blacksburg is not considered a big city. It's probably like 50,000 people with the students there.
But for those of you who don't know, Virginia Tech and Lane Stadium, they use Metallica's Enter Sandman as their entrance song for the Hokies. So they've got a really good long-standing relationship with Metallica, and they actually, what was it, 70,000 people you said?
Yeah, 70,000 people showed up, and so good old time.
Man.
Let me put my phone on charge.
That is on there. I normally don't say use that much PB blaster, but these are kind of being a little stubborn. Okay, well. I may have to actually get under here and hammer this thing pretty hard, to be honest. Forgive the poor angle there. If you're just joining us, we're just swapping out some brakes. We got some Powerstop brakes we're putting on our 2016 Subaru Forester. Right now, I'm trying to get a good swing on this because these are not cooperating very well. The old rotor, I should say, coming off, because I've hit that a few times now, and I'm trying to get a good swing on it. There we go. Man, these are almost like rust welded on there. I've actually, on the Jeep,
We should put anti-seize on that rim.
Yeah.
On this side at least.
Yeah, that's a good call out. I was just saying, that I did that for rims for the Jeep for snow tires because I just hammered the heck out of them, get them back off of there. They were only on there from like October to March, and they were just stuck, like hardcore stuck. Grab the rotor. Now, full disclosure, we're not sponsored by Powerstop. We just appreciate their product. Thank you. If you don't have drilled and slotted rotors on your vehicle, I would seriously consider getting them, as I put my grubby fingerprints all over this thing. These are solid, and I put them on my CRV, and they've been like butter. I mean, I probably have put 20,000 miles on those things already, and they are very, very solid. High performance, the brakes never fade. And short of me trying to tow a trailer with that thing, that's maybe the only way, like overloading a trailer and overheating them and going down a hill. I don't even know if I could do it because these are specifically designed to wick the heat away from the brake surface. So really, really solid performance here. And in this case,
the brake pads are carbon fiber ceramic.
Yeah, here they are. These are ceramic with carbon fiber infused. So you're not spending $2,000 on McLaren brakes, but you're also getting some really solid performing brakes for the money. And this is like their mid-range package, right? Like they have a high performance, like a sport package or something.
Yeah, this is, I don't know, better than OEM type thing.
Yeah, and if you're thinking about putting brakes on your car, I think it's powerstop.com, I'm assuming. Go check them out because I was surprised. At the time, the Powerstop brakes were $20 cheaper, $30 cheaper or something than the stock OEM non-drilled and slotted rotors. I was very surprised to see that. Let's throw some brake cleaner on this. That's pretty clean. Nice and shiny, just to get the gunk off of them. Do that. Go. Now, we were talking about on the other side, it's the same thing. It's almost like they broke the screws off in this thing when they were changing them, which that seems very weird, but I guess anything's possible.
OEM. They're OEM, so.
Yeah.
Originals. I don't know what.
No.
Oh,
Oh, we should put some anti-seize on that.
oh yeah.
Put some anti-seize here. Whoops, just like glove it all over the edge of the rotor. I'll do that. I just put a little bit in there. There we go. It's kind of sloppy. Okay, there we go. Okay. Now, caliper bracket bolts. Do you want anti-seize on these? Or no?
Sure.
Okay.
Might as well. For when we do this in 10 years.
Yeah, there we go. 10 years from now, we're like getting that power stop upgrade again. If a giant comet hasn't destroyed the Earth by then, we'll look back on this video and we'll say, man, look how long those brakes lasted. Okay. Where's the, oh, here they are. So that one came off of the top or the bottom? It came off the top, I think. Interesting. Okay. Go. Have our new shiny. There's that. How are the comments looking? Any comments there? Oops, as I put the caliper bracket on backwards.
Chris, I'd definitely go with Powerstop.
What was Chris' question?
That's his next upgrade.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean we're not sponsored by them, and in fact we've reached out to them. What am I doing? Oh my gosh. On this episode of I'm Not Freaking Paying Attention, let me put the bolt holes on the right side. Yeah, we're not sponsored by them, and in fact we've reached out to them a few times at SEMA, and I think their target audience is performance cars, Corvettes, you know, big horsepower, blah blah blah. And I'm not trying to sound negative about them at all. Please no, I just 2016 Foresters isn't probably their target audience. But I mean, these brakes are really solid. It's not just about the drilled and slotted. I've had no issues at all. Like brakes, sometimes brakes grind, sometimes brakes makes weird noises. I've not had a single problem. I set my brakes. When I say set my brakes, I got from here to home, and the one squealed in the back like once, and then it's set properly, and they've been perfect ever since. And just in the last 6 weeks, I started a new job. I've probably put 5,000 miles on them. I'm not kidding, in the last 6 weeks, and they've been fine. So. Okay. So we got to torque these down to 59 foot-pounds.
Did you reset it? Out of the, where's your torque wrench?
We are going to hit these with the torque wrench. And big shout out to Harbor Freight for sending it over. Thank you. You can grab that light stick thing. We haven't really showed that yet. We're mentioning this light sticks. It's light enough out that we don't need it, but for, you know, under the hood of the car, this thing's really, really cool. A lot of the stuff you see online, you're like, is it any good? Does it work? Is it worth the money? I mean, this thing's pretty neat. It has magnets in it. It hooks to your hood. Very, very much worth the money. And I'm a big flashlight guy, and I'm very impressed with that. There we go. That's on the head of the bolt as possible. That's that. Oops. And you're going to lose some torque going through that, but we'll get it cranked down as much as possible. And then we'll just hit them with the wrench. There we go. Oops. There we go. And that's tight enough. That's tight enough. Yep. I need the lubricant, and honestly, I probably used a bit too much on the other side because there's hardly any left in here. But we do have this, so I'm just going to put some of that on there. Because when you see this come out of the package, it is not quite the same thing. But I've seen guys like goop these things so bad you could hardly see the metal here. There's so much anti-seize they put in there. And don't be sloppy like me and get it on the rotor, because then you got to clean it off. Don't do that. But that's why we hit them with brake cleaner to get the stuff off of there. All right, same deal. So here's our pistons on this side. So this has to go like that. And there we go. Now you can see the old one, this is bent out a little bit, so I'm just going to bend a little bit, not much. And this back one was the bare on the other side. If you're doing this on your own, 2016 Forester, these metal pieces and fitting this in properly. Yeah, I'm just moving that light. It's kind of blinding me right now. This is probably your two biggest challenges, honestly. this one on. Go. Again, keep in mind your rotor is not 100% flush and perpendicular, so it's pretty close now. I'm just going to do this. There we go. That feels good. Let's grab our C-clamp. Where's our C-clamp? Alright, let me grab the C-clamp. I'll be right back. There it is. Appreciate everybody watching. C-clamp this up. Now this time, I'm going to try and do this without holding this. And what I mean is, I'm going to hold the C-clamp, but I'm not going to hold the weight of that caliper because it's not heavy, but when you're trying to do this, it's heavy enough. I'll say it's annoyingly heavy, but it's heavy enough. Yeah, this sucks. I gotta be honest. This double piston thing. I'm assuming they have a tool that does this. Dual push.
Yeah, I just put one in the cart for the Mustang.
They got a quad one?
Yeah.
Is it like wider or something?
Yeah, it's wide.
I didn't think about dual pistons being this much of a pain, to be honest. I honestly didn't realize they were dual pistons. That's what the back ones are singles.
It should be.
That one's bottomed out. Okay, that one's done. Okay. Put some anti-seize here. I didn't put a ton on there. I put some because it's going to spread around in the threads. What's going on here? There we go. Where's that? Alrighty. Well, I think we're almost there. That's tight. Turn it nice and smooth. That's wiggling. Everything feels good. And we torqued our bolts, caliper, bracket bolts, torqued that. Okay, I think this is probably where we're going to wrap up the video and just say, we're going to put the wheel on, wrapping up the video here. This probably, like, even with recording the video, it took us, what, X amount of time. And junk off of there, residual. All right.
So they can be certified fresh finish mechanics.
You too can be a certified fresh finish mechanic. With that, we appreciate you watching. Take my gloves off as I'm doing it. So. Okay.
Move that pan out if it's done dripping. Yeah.
Sorry, live stream. I'm just gonna set you over there so you're not in the shot. Can you see? You can't see that, can you? Okay. Okay.
3, 2, 1.
All right, so we just wrapped up the passenger side. Just a quick recap. Took the rotor off. There are no screws on this side either, so there should be screws, but whatever, it works without it. So this is floating. The new the new brake pads are in there. The new rotor's on there. This feels good, and we did tighten these bolts, the actual caliper bolts, down to 19 foot-pounds. The caliper bracket bolts, 59 foot-pounds. So make sure you give them an extra, just a little extra just to have that extra torque on there. But all that to say, we're going to throw the wheel on, and we are good to go here. We're going to wrap up the video and then get set up for the brakes on the back. We're actually going to do that, so definitely check that out. You can see that link here or somewhere over on this corner of the screen. But with that, we appreciate you watching. Let me get my gloves off here. Now that you got your brakes taken care of and fixed up, you too can be a certified fresh finish mechanic. With that, we appreciate you watching. If you like classic cars, if you like muscle cars, if you like keeping your cars fixed up and certified fresh on the road, Fresh Finish your channel, please like and subscribe, and thanks for watching.
Right.
And my microphone is off.
Ah, crap. Put them in. Should we do it?
No, it's still. I just turned it off. It must have turned itself off from not using it. So we'll just reshoot that real quick.
Okay.
People on the live stream, this is the reality of YouTube. The microphone turned itself off.
For the people watching that are putting on power stops, make sure they read the instructions on how to heat treat the rotors.
To set them.
Heat treat.
What does heat treat mean?
Well, you gotta break,
For X
it's
number
like
of
35
minutes.
to 0, 50
Oh,
to 0.
yeah.
And
There
it,
is like a
heat
heat
treats. And
Heat treat, like a set in. Okay.
Yeah, sets them, heat treats
Okay.
and whatever that.
Okay.
Whatever you call it. Did you want to be down or?
Yeah, I'll start down here. Okay.
Okay. 3, 2, 1.
So wrapping up the video here, we have the new rotor on, the new brake pads on, and just a quick recap. This is turning real smooth, real easy. You can hear it, you know, moving, dragging a little bit, but that's natural. It's not like locked up. So if you can't turn them like that by hand, definitely stop what you're doing, take it back apart because something's not 100%. But that being said, our actual caliper bolts are at 19 foot-pounds, nice and torqued up. Our caliper bracket bolts are at 59 foot-pounds. We put a little extra oomph on them with the wrench, so they're good to go. But we're good to go here. This is happy. The caliper is moving back and forth. It is floating pretty well. Looking at all this, just make sure you, as a new Powerstop brake owner, read the manual because there's like a heat treat, like a set procedure. You have to go to like 35 to 0 and a couple other procedures so many times. And that's all spelled out in the manual, so you properly break these things in so they can last you for a lifetime kind of thing. That being said, we appreciate you watching, and now that you've got your brakes on your car, you too can be a certified fresh vintage mechanic. And if you like classic cars, if you like muscle cars, if you like keeping your cars fixed up and certified fresh and on the road, Fresh Vintage your channel, please like and subscribe, and thanks for watching.
That's a wrap.
Here we go. Throw the tire on, and then we gotta pick up the pace to get this done so I can get out of here. Get Lily. Uh-oh, what's that? Is that a rock? There you go. Barring any major issues on the back, we should be good to get this done pretty quick.
We'll do it non-live.
Huh?
Do it non-live just to get it done.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's going to wrap it up, folks, on the live stream. I'm just going to throw some, what do you call it in here? Some NICs. And we're just going to zip through the back brakes. We are going to record a video on, oh, thank you, on the back brakes, so check out our channel. Right now we have videos. If we didn't do anything and just sat on our hands, we have videos probably until like November this year, give or take. Thank you. For Fresh Vintage, so it'll probably be a little bit before this video comes out, but decent content for the automotive channel. Thank you. And something loud, some nice horsepower rolling by there. We appreciate you watching. Please check out our multiple channels. Fresh Vintage, Classic Cars, Muscle Cars. We fixed all kinds of stuff from CRVs to Jeeps to Honda Accords. That modes, what is that thing? The mode selector door on your Accord. If you got an Accord, like a late 90s Accord, and your mode buttons won't work right, we got a video for you. And that video's actually gotten a lot of likes and comments and people appreciating because it's a super common problem. So go check that video out. Where's the torque stick? If you need a scan tool, if you need shop equipment, if you want to check out some scan tool technology, check out our other channel, Fresh Vintage Garage. We do a lot of the same stuff, car repair, but we do it from a diagnostic standpoint, and we show different scan tools. Thank you. We recently checked out over the last year the Harbor Freight Icon scan tool series. Harbor Freight definitely up on their game on their scan tool series, and it's a really, really solid collection of tools. So if you haven't seen our videos on that, go check them out. Really, really nice units. But we got a lot of different scan tools on there, TPMS and stuff. And if you want to buy a scan tool, definitely check out scantooldepot.com. That might be a touch overkill, but scantooldepot.com, TPMS stuff. We just put Robinair AC machines on there. So if you know a shop owner looking for a AC unit, it's getting hot out, customers need their AC fixed and they need it fixed fast, get yourself a Robinair AC machine on scantooldepot.com. Did we torque? Yeah, we torqued it with this. So Jay's going to hit the brakes. Oh, wait a minute. Wait, stop, time out.
What?
Never mind. Sorry. I thought that was a 3/8. Never mind. Operator error, everybody. So, 89 foot-pounds, so 85, 90, go. Wait a minute. Yeah, okay. All good people of the Lime Stream. Yeah, Lime Stream. Yeah, the Lime Stream, because you're watching on the Lime Stream right now. Oh boy, I got low power mode. No one cares. My battery's gonna go dead. So we appreciate you watching. Any final thoughts, Jay?
Anybody want to come over and do the back brake?
Yeah, please come to the back brakes. We're kind of tired. We want to be done with this. So, but all joking aside, if you need a nice car, the Forster's a nice way to go. I love that they have the oil filter right there. It's like literally right there. You just change it, bing, bang, boom. But we're gonna clean this up and re-gear up. We're gonna shoot the back video now, but we appreciate you watching. And with that, we're gonna sign off, and we'll catch you on the next one. See you, man.